All right, fantasy football champions. Thanks for tuning in once again to the Fantasy Football Astrology channel. My name is Darren. I'm your host once again, breaking it down, getting ready for draft season. Somebody was asking me about Denver Broncos picking at 9. They're the hot topic right now. What is Denver going to do? People are saying Denver is in the works for a trade. Okay, so should Denver trade up to the number 4 spot with the Atlanta Falcons? People are looking at the Denver situation, and when I'm starting to look at the astrology guys, I'm starting to see a whole new picture about what's going on in Denver, okay? And so Drew Lock's been getting a lot of the blame, but what I'm seeing here is it's not on Drew Lock, okay? I'm going to explain to you some other potentials of what's going on. We'll break all of this astrology down, and we'll try to understand what's going on and why I think that Denver absolutely, there's a couple reasons. Denver should absolutely not trade up to a higher pick, okay? Now, when I was first breaking it down and I was looking at Denver's roster, they've got a really good roster. Okay, they've done a good job for a 5-11 team. They've got a pretty dang good roster. And so I think there are some deeper issues happening in Denver that are going unnoticed because, once again, these are deeper things that people may not be able to see until they start looking at different components, okay? So we're going to start at the top, right? We're just going to start with John Elway, right? Synonymous with Denver. He's a water sign, Cancer, and he's working with General George Patton as a Taurus, okay? Those are a happy marriage. Those guys love each other. They're comedians together. Taurus and Cancers get along like peas and pods. They're best friends, basically, okay? And so, but then, once it gets down to the coaching staff, there's a divide happening here, okay? So you've got Vic Fangio as a Leo, masculine. That's not going to be the same as these guys. Same here with Don. What do we got? We've got Donatello here. It is their defensive coordinator in Aquarius. What do you know? The Leo, both the defensive-minded coach and the defensive coordinator are perfect polar opposites, right? That's going to be a great match. And then you're going further down here into the offensive coordinator. And even the quarterbacks coach is starting to get looks as the offensive coordinator, so I did include him. They're all masculine signs, okay? So they're all going to be really jiving together in a good way. And that's great, generally speaking. But the problem gets when you start looking at the personnel in Drew Lock as a Scorpio, okay? He's a water sign. So what we're seeing here is that these guys are speaking in apples and oranges, okay? They're seeing the field differently. They're probably not understanding where each other are coming from on a lot of really natural fluid levels, okay? And it goes further. You got Jerry Jeudy as a Taurus, is a nice compliment to Drew Lock. Expect him to expand this year. And KJ Hamler, okay? Another really good match. Cortland Sutton's okay. Tim Patrick, those aren't as great as Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, and Noah Fant as well. Okay, those are all really good matches to Drew Lock. Now, if Drew Lock had some play callers that had a better feel for how he sees things, you can't force this stuff, right? So if I was a John Elway, George Patton, I would start looking into getting coordinators that are going to jive with Drew Lock. You want a really healthy relationship with Drew Lock and the coordinators. Of course, they're going to try, but once again, like I said, these are deeper things that you can't just make happen, okay? You can't really force it. You can do your best, but so that's part of the story, what I'm seeing here, guys. There's probably a disconnect between the coaching staff and Drew Lock. And here's the thing. If you do trade up to a Justin Fields, Trey Lance, or a Mac Jones, right? Because we don't know if Mac Jones is going to be there. A lot of people think he won't. But if you're trading up to the number 4 spot, these guys, astrologically speaking, they're kind of in the same ballpark as Drew Lock. Now, I don't know if any of these quarterbacks have as live of an arm as Drew Lock. They're probably pretty comparable, these top two guys. But, I mean, Drew Lock's, we know he can really throw. So, and looking at the astrological signs, they're going to be great matches. If they do get Justin Fields, expect KJ Hamler to be really explosive this year, okay? And God forbid he have any more injuries. But that would be a really dynamic connection, the Pisces to the Cancerian, okay? And we've seen that in the past with like a Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, Ben Roethlisberger and Chase Claypool, Ben Roethlisberger and Deontay Johnson. They're all Pisces to Cancer, okay? So that is a super good connection. And so the thing is, there's a little bit deeper into the story. I had to keep looking here because they say they need a right tackle, and I was looking at it, and they have Juwan James, and I thought, Juwan James is a good right tackle. I guess he was out last year, but I know they have a really good offensive line coach in Mike Munchak, right? And so I was looking up their offensive line, and it was so interesting. I found that Bowles, right, a Virgo, he had a breakout year, and PFF gave him a really high grade, and they couldn't figure out how he had gotten so much better. Okay, well, Mike Munchak's a Pisces. He's a Virgo, right? And water feeds earth, and they're polar opposites. There's nothing better to feed and nurture a Virgo than a Pisces. Okay, so hello, that really worked. This guy had a breakout season when Mike Munchak comes along. All right, we're seeing the astrology have a really direct and obvious effect here. Another example of direct astrology, Lloyd Cushenberry, right? High pick last year. Everyone thinks he's going to be a stud center in the league, and he's still a rookie. Maybe he will come around, but he's a Sagittarius, okay? If you want anything to put out a fire, a Sagittarian fire, look no further than a Pisces to put out a Sagittarian fire, okay? So Lloyd Cushenberry had the worst grade of all centers last year. The worst grade. And he was supposed to be great. Well, he's a rookie. Maybe he'll come along. Okay? So if this logic holds through and Mike Munchak is feeding, remember, when you're a coach, you're focused on your players all the time, every day, all throughout the week, and you're building relationships and you're building confidence in your players and making them feel good. So if your astrology works, you're going to have strong, healthy, nurtured relationships. But if they're opposites, it's going to be something much more challenging to work with. So if that holds true with Juwan James as a Gemini, Pisces and Gemini also are on opposite sides of the zodiac. That's a what do we call emotional sign and intellectual signs. Okay, so Juwan James might not work either. So here's the thing, guys. You're going to move up to get a quarterback who is, one of these guys is going to be there at 9. You can almost bet, right? If you're looking at, the Bengals, we know they're going to take offensive tackler, Jamar Chase. Same thing with Miami, Detroit. May or may not take one of these guys. I really don't think Denver should be moving, guys. You look at, it's really hard to be a good quarterback when you got the worst center in the league and you don't have a clean pocket, okay? It's really hard to be a good quarterback when you're not communicating well with the coaching staff, okay? So, and any of these guys they're going to bring on, Trey Lance, he's probably the best to put in this position with this coaching staff, but it's really up in the air still, kind of, because they're opposites, okay? So what I think, they're looking for a right tackle, they should take this guy, Tevin Jenkins, right? I don't know if you guys seen the tape on this guy. I highly recommend you look up a guy named Brett Coleman. He did a neat breakdown video of this guy, and he is a gnarly, really mean right tackle. He already played right tackle. You don't even have to move him. And he's a Pisces, so he's going to work, right, with Mr. Mike Munchak. And he's going to be able to feed Drew Lock and his relationship and help him feel comfortable. He's going to be able to feed KJ Hamler. They're all going to get along in this way, okay? all these water signs getting along and nurturing each other. So that's kind of how astrology breaks down, guys. Expect, I would say, bigger season next year for Jerry Jeudy, bigger season for KJ Hamler. Noah Fant's a good thing. This is all for fantasy purposes. And Denver, I mean, you got to address, I think, different issues. If you're going to try to put the blame on Drew Lock, I really think it's a misguided thing looking at the astrology here, so, and some other factors. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I want to do some more videos coming up. I'm having a lot of fun with my new whiteboard here. And let me know what you guys think, and appreciate you.